Hello everybody and welcome to another knockoff review. In today's video we're taking a look at the kind of premium version of the Mechanical Alliance version of the Studio Series 49 Bumblebee from Transformers 2007. This is the WASP Warrior BB-01 if you're looking for him online, and again this is by Mechanical Alliance, aka Black Mamba, aka AI Mech, aka Legendary Toys. They go under several names, but the quality remains the same. We know what we're going to get with this Bumblebee. Plain and simple packaging. That's what we're going to get. Bot on the front, vehicle on the back. And here we have him out of his plastic prison, and I'm not going to lie, he's actually one of the best looking Bumblebees I've had. I think he's a gorgeous looking piece. Lots of nice detailing on him. The way he stands and holds himself, yes, he's still coming across as quite hench, but it definitely works a lot better on him than he does on their more basic version of the mold. He's jam-packed with articulation. We've got some LEDs in the head there as well. There's die cast in amongst everything that's going on. And then my only real gripe about what you see here is that it's always difficult to gauge size and scale when you're buying online, isn't it? That's MPMB. I saw some early shots of this guy alongside what I thought was MPMB, but it must have been the Weijang oversized version, their Hornet. I think it was something like Hornet they called it. But yeah, he's a big boy. I mean, I thought to myself, what am I going to do with this oversized, simplistic version of the Studio Series B? It doesn't scale with anything. And then this thing arrived. Oh gosh. But to be fair, I do have my 3¾ inch scaled Sam Witwicky, which I personally think him and B, that's actually a really good scale. I think this is actually how I'm going to display my Bumblebee. I'm going to have him with Sam doing their own kind of thing. We've established just how ruddy big this thing is. Let's take a look all the way around him. Holds a really nice stance. Gorgeous stature to him. Love all the intricate detailing. Everything seems to fold away a lot nicer on here than on that kind of simplified, oversized version. Still a little bit going on at the back there. I could probably tuck that in a little better than I already have. Haven't really tucked that in. We'll have a look when we get him closer. But I honestly do think he looks superb alongside that Sam figure. Of course, it isn't actually Sam. It's just the Shia LaBeouf figure from the Indiana Jones series for the Crystal Skull. But it works a treat. He's basically wearing exactly the same clothes anyway. But this is a gorgeous looking version of B. I never got the original Studio Series version. I watched MGo's video on it. Thought that does actually look like the best version that we've had to date. Then when I saw they were oversizing it, I thought, oh, colour me interested. And I thought they were going to be the same size as the Masterpiece ones. I was wrong on both accounts. Let's take a closer look, get a little bit up close and personal. Adore that sculpt on the head. In fact, we've got lots of range there as well. Makes the world of difference there. We've got that button on the back there. Allows the lights to light up. We do actually get the secondary head, which is the battle mask. And that just pops on to the ball socket if the battle mask B is what you're after. But the sculpt is so nice on this version. I don't know, I just want to kind of keep it on there. It's nothing that really needs to be changed. Lots and lots of articulation. Love all of the little highlighted sections on the sculpt. We've got lots of die cast down here on the feet. We've got his cannon on the arm, just pops off like so, revealing a secondary hand. Everything on this guy is nice and tight. Lots of articulation. And look at the shoulders, they're on pivots up and down at 2 points, so you can get this range here. You can then also push it up on that second joint, so you can get those to sit naturally, nice and high above the shoulders, or you can drop them right the way down so they sit really low down. Personally, I'm a fan of the nice high shoulders. We have ratchets forwards. We've got this double jointed bend on the forearm, bringing it all the way up to here. A very natural look. Full rotation on that mushroom peg. Fully articulated hands. This side on mine, I don't know, it's a bit loose on that pin. Could do with that being tightened. I'm not sure if I can tighten the pin. Maybe a little bit of kiki down there will do the job, because it's not like it on the other side. So that's my biggest gripe at the moment. Waist rotation. No abdominal crunch on the waist. We've got the motion and movement on this chest. Sits in there really nicely. Legs forwards, backwards, out to side. Probably a little bit too heavy for a friction joint there. Bend on that knee there. And then we've got pivot on those ankles, and we've got some up and down on the toe, and we've got some heel spurs on either side. So there's a lot going on for this guy. Not really sure how the legs and the thigh panels are meant to sit though. I've been having them kind of like this on the thighs. In the book they're like that. Can't say I'm a fan of that at all. Kind of reaching right across, I guess, is another option. So they're up nice and high just underneath this panel here. Like I said, it's not really tackled in the instructions, but I think it's just making something that works for yourselves there. Make sure these panels here are down. This all comes up. There we have one gorgeous looking Bumblebee. It was at this point that Prime feared he may have been overfeeding Bumblebee. So when you get around the back here for the transformation, you realise things are different. You've got these added panels in, so things do look marginally different on the back. You don't have the rest of the car kind of as pronounced, but it's still all there nonetheless. You've got the whole front cab here, all the grille section, that all sits on the back. That's nice. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that these are going to come around and there's going to tab in. You want to move these shoulder panels up as far as we can get them, just so they're out of the way, because this is going to rotate around like so. It's going to come up like this. This then comes down, this then comes down, and then this is going to slide and this is going to form the top and bonnet section of the car. These shoulders drop down on that hinge that I mentioned earlier on. Again, on this side, this one's going to slide down nice and easy, isn't it? Chest untabs, chest untabs. This untabs from the front, and that's going to go up and all the way over his head. Bring this up over these shoulders as far as it will go, and then this is going to compress, he says, trying to get all of this done on camera. So the head is underneath. It's got to make sure that his chest rotates up enough so that it's facing upwards, and then that should give us enough room to rotate these, and these should all now tab in. He says these wheel panels are going to come in These are going to slide, and again these will just tab in on here and here. Let's rotate the waist around. You spin my waist around, right round, like so. So the legs are now going to be in the right position when we rotate everything up. This comes up. Oh, I've popped off the ball joint. Okay, that's going to come up. Really loose on that ball joint there. This is going to untab from the outside of the leg. He says, come on, out you come. There we go. Which allows this to come inwards. Rotate that, rotate this around so that it comes up to the top. Legs are a little different, but nice nonetheless. This panel here is actually on a separate piece, look, with all the brake calipers and that on, which is nice. The wheel actually rotates, so you've got the brake disc and that can come up, that can come down. This is then going to come out of the way. You'll see this comes inwards. And as we bring this in, this piece here folds inside the car, like so, on this hinge, so that when this collapses, that's going to form the back end of the vehicle. Shoulders are going to drop down into that void, so they're out of the way. And then as this comes around, this comes across, and as you can see, there's the tab just on the leg, allowing this to tab in and secure. And then these come down, this then comes down, this rotates, like that, so it's all compacted. It's how this thing just does not want to stay on here. This is on a ball socket and it keeps popping off. Definitely need some kiki on that. That kind of goes without saying, unfortunately. Arms are nice and easy to stow away. They just slide under the underside here, and when we close this door off, it's going to push past this hinge, and there's this tab here. That's just going to line up with here. Make sure that it's straight, and that should, he says, come on, there we go, that's in, is it? Oh, come on, there we go. It's got a tab. All of these little panel pieces in. Doesn't say anything about it in the instructions, but I tuck these down here in the middle. It says to have them under the underside there, but that really doesn't sit there properly at all. And everything kind of tabs in. I'm struggling to get things to tab in exactly where I want them. The windscreen has got a nice bend on it, but it's this side here. I think it's something to do with the way I've got it tabbed in underneath here. Maybe something's not quite straight. It doesn't quite sit as nicely as it should. You tab these pieces in here, so that nips together there, and then you push these down, and then it just takes a little bit of a gap here, look. So there, the wheels Should sit a little bit more level than that. It seems like as soon as you tweak one side, the other side kind of comes up again. But that being said, it's clearly a Chimera. Maybe something I've done incorrect with those feet sitting on the top panels here. There's nothing in the instructions to see exactly how they go. So I think that's probably where my issue lies. But I mean, that is a monster of a car. That's pretty darn good, isn't it? Just to give you an idea, that is the MPM4 Optimus Prime. This thing is absolutely gigantic. If I could get it to close up properly, which I think I'm just going to have to play around on the underside of the hood there. But that's a really good figure. I've seen the pictures of the vehicle mode and they should sit nice and square. But I don't know what I've done wrong. But bot mode, sublime. Vehicle mode is a good size. It's the size I want. I may get a second one of these now and have it in vehicle mode. So I have one for Sam Witwicky in bot mode, and one with Sam in vehicle mode. It's just tabbing those little tabs in and getting them to stay together. You've got his head on the underside there. Legs all kind of slide in and tab inside there. These definitely need to be clear of these wheels, otherwise they won't roll. So I don't know why it doesn't say in the instructions about tucking them down in the legs. There's clearly room for it. And these sit down here nicely. There we go. That is the massive oversized version of the Studio Series Bumblebee. It looks really nice. Pegging tabs aside, so frustrating. I hate it when you get a car or a vehicle that you tab in and then you look at it wrong or you sneeze and everything just comes untabbed. But on paper, it should be amazing. Build quality is exceptional. There's no doubt there. It's fantastically built. It's just obviously something I'm doing wrong there. It must be. It's something to do with these feet and leg hinges on top. Something's not quite sitting as it should be. If I can figure out exactly what it is, these don't help, do they? If I can figure out exactly where these are meant to go, then we should be okay. But it's just... I think they're meant to go like that, so they sit in these grooves here. Still all pops out. See if I can get these back on without... I think that's it. I think that's the best we're going to get it. Don't touch it. Don't look at it funny. There we go. That is the oversized version of Bumblebee. Nice solid figure. Much, much bigger than what I'd initially thought. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Is it going to fit in everybody else's collection? I don't know. Possibly. If you, like me, like your swarm of Bumblebees in various different shapes and sizes, then yes, possibly. But for those who are looking for an MPM Bumblebee, no, not at all. This is vastly, vastly too big. But all in all, I'm a happy chappy. Love what they've done with it. Finally got it all kind of tabbed in. Definitely works in both modes. 2 thumbs up from me. Big thanks to TF Direct for making this review possible. And until next time, from myself and the rest of the Collectables household, thank you all for watching. Goodbye.